Hello peeps. In this video I want to begin discussing language revitalization, particularly focusing on the indigenous languages of North America in particular, so Native American language revitalization. And this is going to be somewhat of an unscripted series, but I do sort of have a general structure laid out. So today we're going to talk about some of the library resources that you might find at a university about Native American languages and language revitalization. So we're going to take a look at the Library of Congress classification system. This is a way to classify books into categories, and it's not the Dewey Decimal System, which you might be more familiar with, but there are a lot of academic libraries in the US that use the Library of Congress system, and most of the categories, I believe, were pretty much already decided by the 1930s. So there are some outdated terms, but let's just take a look. All right, here's the Wikipedia page about the Library of Congress classification. I am a UT Austin student, that is the University of Texas at Austin, and our library, the Perry Castañeda Library, uses, at least in part, the Library of Congress classification. So if you go to Class P here, this is the Language and Literature section, and you'll see that the subclass PM has books about Hyperborean, Native American, and artificial languages. And by artificial, I mean like Esperanto and some other conlangs or constructed languages that have sort of gained traction. Native American languages, of course. And you'll see this term Hyperborean that's just grouped with Native American. And Hyperborean, it does sort of have an etymology that is based on some Greek folklore or myth about people of the far north. And it is sort of an outdated term, but what is meant by this is the circumpolar far north peoples. But practically speaking, it just refers to those Siberian languages that might be considered Paleosiberian. So these are just Siberian languages that are not related to any of these other languages. Like Manchu, for instance, I believe you would find books about that under Eastern Asia. So this term Hyperborean, it does have some overlap with, not only languages of Eastern Asia, but also, Uralic here, because you have to understand that Sami, the people of the north part of Scandinavia, they are an Uralic people, and their language might be classified as Hyperborean, if we take that definition of it as just meaning far north or circumpolar. But it has overlap with this, and these other terms all take precedence. And then you'll see in some descriptions of subclass PM, they'll say Indian instead of Native American. But what they really mean is Native American, and probably more so focused on North America if you're in a library in the US, because a lot of the literature about the languages of the indigenous peoples of Central and South America, I imagine, would be written in Spanish. Alright, so I actually went into the library to record. I'm not talking in the library, this is just a voiceover. So before we jump into some detail, let's just take a look at this PM section. So that's from PL to PM, so here's where it starts. And, we have this section about the so-called Hyperborean and Inuit, actually, languages, and we have this shelf here, and then another shelf here. This is more of like just specific Native American languages, books about them, grammars and stuff. Another shelf, some Creole books, and then the PM section ends here. It goes from PM to PN. So we have some conlanging books there. And then the first section, of course we have some Siberian language isolate books like this one, which is a Yup'ik Japanese dictionary, which I thought was cool that we just had that. So it's not Native American, but it's Yup'ik, not related to Native American languages anyway. Here's a book in Russian about the Chukchi language, which is another isolate. Pocket Inuktitut, which is the primary Inuit language of Canada. And then here's a comparative Inuit dictionary with Aleut cognates too. So it's basically, they'll show you an entry of a word or like a part of a word. And these capital letters just stand for the different Inuit languages, and I'll show you what the word is in the other languages so you can compare them. And here's a Western Greenlandic grammar book. And then you'll see this book has been checked out quite a bit. This grammar book right here. And here we have this is a Swedish song translated into, I believe this is Western Greenlandic. And you'll see we have that small K there, which we now write as a Q. But the orthography, before they at least did use this system. And here's the Danish national anthem. And then over here we have some general Native American books, Native American languages, like cataloging, all of them, just general books about Native American languages. And there's some books about pedagogy in this section, which I think are particularly necessary and also interesting. So take a look at these titles. Oral tradition, there's a little bit of literature, but not that much. Like actual folk tales and poetry books. We don't have too many of those. And there's one particular series here, or I should say like a type of book about pedagogy and about, language revitalization, teaching strategies, like this on stabilizing indigenous languages, language renewal, nurturing native languages, teaching. So a very practical series about the challenges and, what has worked, what the author's recommendations are. And here's another series about that, awakening the language, developing materials and activities. So a very, practical guide to doing this stuff, which I think is very important since a lot of the Native American languages are dying. Training language teachers, of course, designing curriculum, and evaluating our language programs. So it goes pretty deep. So that wraps it up for this video. And in the next video, I do plan to talk about sort of my interests. I'm not too sure about the future of this series now, but I do intend to cover quite a wide range of topics. So if there's anything that you want to see related to Native American language revitalization, or just those languages in general, or even language revitalization in general, doesn't have to be in America, or it could be it could be in America, but like in Mexico or south of Mexico, for instance. So do let me know what you would like to see, because I think it's a very important topic, because in our lifetimes it is likely that we will see many indigenous languages die out. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.